Look, there's a million move breakdowns on social media. Copy this move or add this move to your bag. Most of you guys watching have probably spent weeks, months, or maybe even years trying to copy NBA players' moves and apply them to games to no avail. So in this video, I'm going to break down why you shouldn't just be copying NBA players' moves, why it doesn't work, and what you guys can be doing instead. Now, the first thing and the most important aspect to this is you need to understand that these moves work because of who the player is and all of the other skills that they possess. So the best two examples of this is Steph Curry, where, oh, I'm going to copy his hezzy, but that hezzy isn't going to work for you if you don't possess the great shooting ability that he has. That's what makes that move work, because of those other skill sets that he has and what the defender believes he's going to do. Now, the other one is the James Harden between the legs move, where he is so quick that he can go by you, but he's also such a good shooter that if he steps back, you have to bite on that. So you can't just expect to copy these players' movements without also having the same exact skill sets and great abilities that they have and expect it to work. Now, the second thing, which is probably one of the most important aspects of this, is they're not just pre-planning these moves and thinking, okay, I'm going to do this. They're just reading the situation and then reacting accordingly. So there's really two sides to the skill. While most of you guys are just repping out the technical aspect, part of the skill is just being able to read what is going on and then having the actual capability to react accordingly with whatever skill may be needed. So back to our first initial example of the Steph Curry hezzy, that's not going to work if he uses it at the wrong time. If his defender's 3 feet back and he tries the hezzy, it's just simply not going to work, and it's actually the wrong move to use. And same thing in the James Harden example, if he's going between the legs and the defense presses up and he doesn't go by, that move is no longer effective. So it's not just the move that works, it's the player's skill that we talked about, but also their ability to read the situation and then react in a timely fashion. So the third point, which is extremely important, is the game that you guys play is probably very different from the NBA game, whether that's high school, college, or maybe even pro. It's going to be very different in terms of the rules, in terms of the pace of play, in terms of the spacing on the floor. I mean, even the NBA is an entertainment business. The roles that these players are going to have could be so different from what you guys are going to be able to do. The systems are so different. The expectations of the coaches are so different. So you can't just expect to see something and then immediately expect that it's going to apply and work for what you're trying to do. So it's very important that you take all of this into consideration, understand, hey, maybe that move might work, but is it going to work for me with my skill set in the context of the game, in the system that my coach plays, and within my role in that team? So a lot of players don't see success with working on new moves for all the reasons that I said, but also because they spend so much time working on something that's never going to actually work where they play, and their coach is never even going to allow them to do it. If they do, they're probably going to get pulled. So all this information is great, but also what are we going to do about it? What can you do instead to continue to get better? So the very first thing that I would focus on is improving and broadening your general skill as well as your movement library and your movement ability. So that is the most important part to these moves. Like I said, is just being able to react under almost any circumstance. So if you're only practicing very specific moves, they're only going to work in those very specific situations. But as opposed to if you can work on your broad skill, okay, my ability to cuff the ball, my ability to manipulate the ball, my ability to change speeds, my ability to shoot from any distance under different footworks, under shooting at different angles, right? These are all broad skills that we can then apply to specific situations. So we just want to increase our overall skill, movement library, ability, then we can apply them to specific situations later. But again, most people just go very specific, very narrow. Okay, I want to work on these very specific shots in these very specific situations, or certain footworks or certain moves that are all very specific, as opposed to we want to be broad. Now, the second and most important thing that I would do is I would replicate the situations that you're seeing, not necessarily the solutions. So what I mean is, okay, you see a certain move, maybe someone's attacking downhill, one-on-one situation in a tight space, you want to work on that certain move. What I'm telling you is to rep out that same situation. Now allow yourself to figure out and solve that solution whatever way is best for you. So maybe you're really good getting downhill to the rep. So your movements, your moves, your solutions may be slightly different than a certain NBA player that you are watching. So certain situations that you're seeing or certain game actions that you want to improve and add these moves in, instead of adding the specific moves, work on the situation over and over and over again with defense. Allow yourself to solve that problem, work through it, and then also, if you can, film it. Go back. Okay, am I doing the most effective thing here? So that's the other problem with trying to add these specific moves, is there may be a simpler way to solve that problem. So maybe you're coming downhill, you're going double between the legs, step back, hezzy, and then you go. When in reality, okay, I watched that film back, I could have just went between the legs and then go. So it's very important that we're being efficient, we're making the right decisions, we're able to go back and look at those decisions, so we're able to improve our decision making, our ability to read, our ability to solve certain problems in a wide array of ways, not just one specific way, aka the moves that you guys are trying to work on. And then we're able to, over time, continue to keep correcting ourselves, make sure we're efficient, because as you start to move up in levels, it's going to be even more crucial that you guys are being efficient and doing everything in the best way possible, because the defense is only going to get better as well. So you need to be getting better and more efficient as well. So that's exactly what I would do. That's exactly why your moves aren't working. Hopefully this helped you guys. If it did, please drop a comment, drop a like. See you guys next video soon. Peace.